New moon in Sagittarius, focus on the positive. New moons are about beginnings. Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. It's an expansive card. It is a traveler. It is an adventurer. It is the sister sign to Gemini. So it's very intellectual, but it's a fire sign, which means it's going to bring action. So it wants to think, it wants to understand, it wants to experience. Focusing on the positive, because it's ruled by Jupiter, it's associated with a bit of the optimism and the focus, meaning let's see the bigger picture of what's going on and find the thing that is the silver lining. Because it's a new beginning, this is coming across like this is turning over a new leaf. So maybe you have been stuck in a bit of a cloudier, grayer mindset, and could be all month long. I'm getting it's like in the last like 3 to 4 weeks in particular. And this is an opportunity. Like, let's hit the reset button. Let's just start fresh today. In very short time, actually, we have Venus entering Taurus. This is a really exciting ingress to happen. Venus spends anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks on average in a sign. It has currently been in Aries for many weeks. It despises being in Aries. It is very unhappy there. But it loves to be in Taurus because it's one of the signs that it rules. I have already released a video on this transit. You can find it on my YouTube channel if you want to learn about more of the specifics of it. But that is happening today. This is a big positive that is transpiring. It's like, oh, we can breathe, we can relax, we can luxuriate. We would want to find the positive, actually, because we're wanting to enjoy ourselves. That's what a Venus and Taurus transit is doing. It's like, I want to relax. I want to enjoy the pleasures of life. That's what we're working on today. So that is very complementary to the nature of this Monday card. We do have, for moon context, because I was going to talk about the moon in the backdrop here, the moon is currently in Virgo. It's going to manifest for people in different ways, but we're talking about very different areas of the chart here. But Taurus is an earth sign, Virgo is an earth sign, so we do have a bit of that earth energy that's being amplified today. And I already mentioned that Sagittarius is a fire sign. So Virgo is looking to be stable. It's looking to create order. It's looking to improve, clean up, tidy, literally or metaphorically. And then we're also looking to relax, and we're looking to find what's working, find the light through all of it. So I think that's actually a nice storyline for today and to start us off and giving us that new base. First quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. This is for tomorrow. So the foundation that we're setting for Monday is we're hitting a reset button. We're saying, let's find the positive, let's find the bright side. And then we go to a sign that's right next door. Sagittarius, right before it is Scorpio. First quarter is a reflection, and we're releasing blocks. So we're seeing what's working, and then we're releasing what's not working. So as we move into tomorrow, Tuesday, we have right in the morning, the Neptune post shadow ends. I did a video on that some weeks ago because we had the pre-shadow and the post-shadow overlapping with each other. So we've been in this weird period of like the next chapter started before the last chapter ended. So the chapter is ending tomorrow in the morning. So you can learn about that. So again, we're in this weird transition that was kind of happening through the bulk of March. Moon will stay in Virgo until around 11 p.m. Eastern time. It's going to switch to Libra, which is the other sign that Venus rules. So we're going to continue to have some different activations in Neptune. I should mention is in Aries, which is a fire sign, ruled by Mars. Scorpio is also ruled by Mars. So we are having some little connections in what's happening with the astrology, with the signs, the elements, or with the rulership and what's coming up with these cards. We have first quarter moon in Sagittarius. That's 2 first quarter moons in a row. Unleash your kindest self. Okay, I am loving this story. So Capricorn is an earth sign. It's the cardinal earth sign, it is the leader. Tuesday, we're releasing the things that are holding us back from that new moon, new beginning, that reset. And then we're being kind to ourselves through that process, because it can feel uncomfortable to release what is heavy, to see what is heavy. But we know for Capricorn, which is a very ambitious sign, this is going to help us in the long run. This is going to get us to go where we need to go. And if we are just down on ourselves the whole time, it doesn't help the process. In fact, it hurts the process. It's going to be a block. We're going to have to go back and do more releasing of. The thing I'm seeing for Wednesday, I just keep seeing like zipping up, buttoning up, a pressure to like have it together, to, again, not having things in order, but it's like us as a person, like having it together. By holding ourselves to a standard like that, of like, this is how I have to present, it doesn't help the theme of what's emerging so far this week if we do that. And as you can see here, this woman on the card is just like, she's just walking in nature. She's like, oh, what's over here? How interesting. And it just feels much more like an exhale. And so if we are buttoning up too much and too tight, we don't have room to breathe, to do intentional, slow, Saturn-ruled, steady growth. We're not rushing, and we don't need to rush. It's an earth sign. Let's be thoughtful. Let's be present. And let's be nice to ourselves in particular, because all of this is about what's going on in our mind, what's going on in our soul, what's going on in our head and our heart. And we're trying to connect all of those. We need them to work in tandem. We need them to collaborate and remember that they're all on the same team. They're all part of us. And that collaboration is really, really crucial for this transitional period. I just keep getting like, this is a transitional week. And that like healing work, that reset, new beginning, just what the doctor ordered, it's a medicine that is so essential for us right now. And to get all the parts of ourselves on board is just, it's not even just that it's going to make it easier, it's going to make it happen. It's going to make it possible to be able to do this work. I'll say work. But to channel that, to progress, to grow, to reshape, reform ourselves. What's happening on Wednesday? Oh, okay. We have the moon in Libra. So I mentioned the moon goes into Libra late Tuesday night Eastern time. And the moon is in Libra throughout Wednesday. And then we have a full moon that night. So Eastern time, it's around 10 p.m. So you want to check your time zone in the day. It may be the following day. Maybe when you're asleep, or maybe in the morning or afternoon the next day. So based on Eastern time, this when we have the transition. Obviously of note here, Libra is a fellow cardinal sign. So it's the air sign rather than earth. And that is the first air that we have anywhere here, because so far we've only been talking about water, earth. And so far we don't have air in any of the cards. Maybe that will change. We have 4 more. But that moon activation is also one that we have not seen. We have new moon and we have 2 first quarters. So we haven't seen last quarter and we haven't seen full moon, but energetically we'll have a full moon, which is a culmination point. And I actually really like that we have this pairing going on here, because yes, we have Capricorn, which is a fellow cardinal sign, but even the messaging on this feels very Libra, like as Libra as you could get for Capricorn. Unleashing your kindest self. Libra is ruled by Venus. Libra is about relationships. It's about harmony. It's about us getting along. And the message on this Capricorn card is like about you getting along with yourself. So the fact that we have that woven in, I think, is a really nice touch, and actually a very different way to look at this card. It's the aftermath of the full moon in Libra. Moon is in Libra and nothing else really major of note. Okay, our card is New Moon in Libra. I literally said we haven't had any air cards, and now we're getting the air card. New Moon in Libra, know you are loved. Okay, this is beautiful. This storyline. Storyline. So we didn't get the full moon because that is the actual lunation we are experiencing Wednesday night into Thursday. But we have new moon, which is the opposite. What you do, for anyone who's not familiar, I've talked about this many, many a time. You can find all the different videos on my YouTube channel. When you have a full moon, what you do is you look back at the new moon in that sign. That's what we would be doing. We're looking at this. We're looking at this on Thursday or late Wednesday night. When that new moon lunation was in that same sign, which is on average 6 months prior. So full moon in Libra, you look back at the new moon in Libra and you say, how have I grown? How have I found more peace? How have I connected to creativity? How have I developed more harmony? How have I improved my relationships? Those are the types of questions that you would ask yourself on Thursday. And then the mantra message that we have here is know that you're loved. Again, ruled by Venus, a planet of love. So we also want to think not just outside ourselves, because if we're remembering the journey this week is about what's happening with us. It's all of the parts of ourselves working together. Attitude and action, emotions, soul work, mindset, and heart coming together. So we have all of those pieces, all facets of our physical and spiritual body in collaboration. The Libran ideals, we're thinking about fairness, we're thinking about justice, we're thinking about balance. Yes, we are reflecting. We are taking a look back because of the full moon, because of the culmination point, but because the energy of the card here is also about the new beginning, we're connecting back to the beginning of the week. That was the first time that we had a new moon card. So we're starting on Monday with how can we focus on the positive? And then we have to have another pep talk with ourselves on Thursday. Okay, remember you're loved. Remember you're loved. It's not about validation. That's not the energy here. It's not the energy of Libra. That's more Leo. Not the energy of Libra. Know you are loved, as in find that love. So we're focusing on the positive, and it's like, find the ways that you're loved. It's there. You just have to see it. I'll talk about a sign, and then it becomes the next one that pops up. Leo. Last quarter, so we've switched it up. Last quarter, Leo, lighten up. Okay, these cards are now just laughing at us. I said before, you know, it'd be perfect is if the next one was Aquarius. It was not, but Leo is the sister sign to Aquarius, so like we still got like a cheeky a cheeky connection there. Last quarter, moon in Leo, lighten up. This is another fire sign. So this is our second fire sign. We started out with Sagittarius. That was Monday and then Friday. So for your work week, if you will, if you work Monday through Friday, they're bookended by two fire signs. Right around here, we had an actual full moon, and then we're having post full moon energy coming the next day, which is great. So a last quarter is when the light is dissipating. So the moon reached its peak with the full moon, and then it starts to go away. With Leo, Leo is a very playful sign. So when it's telling us to lighten up, again, this is very much connected to the focus on the positive we had on Monday, unleash your kindest self we had on Wednesday, know that you are loved we had on Thursday, and now we have it again. Let's focus on the positive. Let's find some humor. I'm just seeing it feels very communal, like spending some quality time with people, like going for this belly laughs. Maybe it's playing a game, maybe it's a movie, but seeking out some experiences where you can just completely let loose. I just keep seeing it. It's like it's huge laughs. It's like you're shaking, your face is getting red, you're crying. Like that's the energy we're trying to get to by Friday, and how healing that is, because especially if coming into this week we're like, oh my gosh, what a time it has been the last several weeks, I am tired. Then think about the work that we have been doing. We're saying, I'm going to just hit the reset. I'm going to start finding the positive. I'm going to let go of what's not working Tuesday. I'm going to be kind to myself through the process Wednesday. I'm going to find the things and people that are loving, supportive of me. So I'm going to, again, find that version of the positive, those connections that are important Thursday and Friday. And then I'm going to enjoy my time with those people, with those experiences. So as the week is going on, we're getting increasingly kinder and more connected and more free and more ourselves and more authentic. And that really is a journey. Just to keep in mind, is a pairing when the moon is in Scorpio, this is also a fixed sign. So Leo and Scorpio are both fixed signs. And Scorpio moons are known to be very, very intense, very, very deep. In some ways, it feels a little bit counter to what we're having here, which is lighten up. You may also need this lighten up energy because you feel really emotionally intense. And like all of the things that have come up this week, it's just being stirred up within you, and you're accessing that well and depth much more easily. So this may also be coming up because you as an individual need that reminder of like, yes, feel things, connect there, but like we still have to find the counterbalance of joy and not maybe take some of that stuff 100% so seriously, because emotions are temporary, they're transient, and that's what happens with the moon. It's like it's going to change signs, it's going to shift again. So if we're in that type of a mindset or emotional state, so most of the weekend we're going to have the moon in Scorpio, but we're being reminded on that Friday of like, okay, things are coming up. We've had quite a week. We've had quite a several weeks. It's focusing on the last several weeks rather than the last several months. So the last several weeks we've had this experience. We're working through what we need to flesh out. And of course, a reminder for Tuesday was releasing the blocks. Well, maybe you have an emotional block. And when you start experiencing the joy on Friday and that release, maybe it's like you're laughing so hard that you cry, and it's cries and like you literally are crying, like getting and flushing everything out of your system that you need to. And just knowing that that is healthy and healing and can be joyful, and the ecstasy of the release of your tears and tension, that's what's coming up. This is the cardinal water sign. Letting your fears dissolve. The reason that this is the mantra is because Cancer is the crab. It has the hard shell. It's very emotional. It's very sensitive. We were just talking. We have this whole weekend where we're in a fellow water sign of Scorpio. The moon is there. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So when we're having this big rulership, whatever is coming up, whatever is spilling out of us that needs to, that hopefully our Leo laughs and jokes will help buffer, will help facilitate, get those the waterworks going if that's necessary. They'll dissolve, they're dissolving in water. So you could be literally connecting to water. I keep seeing like baths and showers, so foot bath, full body bath, spa, ocean, beach, jacuzzi, things like that. You could opt to quite literally connect to water. You have all of your worries and the things that you're thinking about or that you're stressed about or like what's going on. And you just like imagine as if like the color is going away and then it's going down the drain, or that you're getting filled with light, joy, relaxation, like that kind of a visualization. Like that would be a really great tool on Saturday. And we can't just view each day in isolation. We have to think about the full storyline. We have to think about where we just were, what we were doing from the actual in real time full moon that was happening late Wednesday, maybe on Thursday, depending on your time zone, that we've, spending the next few days processing what came up, and then having the emotional shift and then processing all of that too. And whatever it is that is coming up, it's bringing us back to Tuesday, which was Scorpio, but it was release your blocks. So you are safe, you are worthy, you are valued. Gets us back to 1, 2, 3, Thursday. Know you are loved. End of day, Sunday, we have the moon going into Sagittarius, where we started our week. What a nice bookend. Of course, we don't get the pattern, but we did get the quad here. We have our last cardinal sign that we were missing to complete our group. First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. This, I think, is then great. for what I just mentioned for the astrology, Moon in Sagittarius. So we have a fire sign on a fire moon day. We have another first quarter. This is our third first quarter. Step into your power. So now that we have done everything that we needed to do, we're called to do this week, we can now start something new. We can take that action. This was the transition week. We are then prepared Sunday to know where we're going to take that leap forward. So when we hit Monday of next week, we're ready. We're ready. We're hitting the reset button on Monday. We're finding the positive. We're finding the joy. We're choosing to find what's working. We're choosing to change our perspective. This is a new beginning starting today. Tuesday, first quarter moon in Scorpio, release your blocks. When we do this, we might find that there's the negative that has to go, that we have to release. This is water energy. This could be emotional. This could be slightly uncomfortable. We are flushing it out. It doesn't serve us, so we're going to get rid of it. And then Wednesday, first quarter moon in Capricorn, unleash your kindest self. This may be feeling uncomfortable. We're doing, some big shifts here. And this is still coming back to a mind over matter situation. We have to be kind to ourselves. Remember that this is tough work, that this takes effort, that it will benefit us in the long term. Let's be kind about this. Let's be patient with ourselves. There is no rush. We're just doing what we can do. And then we get to Thursday, new moon in Libra. And of course, this is coinciding with happening in between here. We have the real life full moon Libra, where we reflect on the new moon in Libra. Know you are loved. So we're not only being kind to ourselves, we are remembering and finding and seeing around us that people that love us, the experiences that bring us love. We're reflecting on those relationships. That's what we're going to do with the full moon, looking back towards the period of time when the new moon was. And then not only are we going to find and identify those valuable connections, we get to Friday, last quarter moon in Leo, lighten up. We got to have fun. Friday is a day for fun, is a day for laughter, maybe creativity, depending on the person. But as long as you're laughing, this was the big action that came through. Let's do something that's going to get us to belly laugh and crack up. We are breaking the spell, thinking about how we started the week. Okay, I just have to focus on the positive. We get to Friday and we have put those steps in place. We have shifted our mindset. We have made adjustments to our behavior. We've let go of what we needed to let go of. We've sought out what does work, who works. And here we're having that cathartic release. We have the moon in real life that is shifting into Scorpio for basically the rest of the weekend. So if something emotional, triggering, significant, block related is coming up, we're using that laughter to also get that out of our system, to release it, to counterbalance any sort of the heaviness. And then we get to Saturday and we're doing some waterworks. We are letting anything that is coming up, any of those spookies from that moon in Scorpio, we're allowing that to release from our system yet again. We need these different checkpoints during the week. So even if it feels like we're doing a slight repeat, but it's up leveled, it's more intense, because at the beginning of the week, that's similar to the lighten up. It's like, okay, we're finding the positive, we're trying to find the joy, but we're more stifled. We're more like stuck and still clenched at the beginning of the week. So when on Tuesday we do the release your blocks, the flushing out that Scorpio energy and letting it go, we're only doing it part way. We need to go through those other steps. We need to have that full moon experience and that reflection. So then we can do round 2, and round 2 is much bigger. We're actually doing the bigger release. We are laughing. We're finding the positive because we're finding that joy, and it's just flying right out of us. And then anything else that is stirred up, if it's fears, if it's negative self-talk, like it feels like we're going back. We're not going back. We got to the root of it. We actually really saw in the depths what was happening in that underbelly, and we're really flushing it out and letting it go. when we get to that early to mid part of the weekend. And then Sunday we have first quarter moon in Aries. So double back, we bookend with the fire signs. And this whole thing just becomes a process. We wouldn't have been able to take whatever step we're going to take on Monday of next week. We wouldn't have been ready if we hadn't done everything that we did this week. Strictly looking at the visuals, we have mountains, 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 mountains. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, we have mountains on the cards. Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, we have water. And then we just have Earth chilling by itself on Wednesday. So we do have some imagery patterns. And you might say, well, isn't that just because like it's a water sign or no, because we have two fire signs that they don't have balls of fire. They have these mountainous landscapes. And then for Leo is a fire sign and there's water on it. So it isn't a one-to-one. It depends on the imagery that they happen to choose. But yeah, there's a lot of mountaintop, larger landscape. It's us, small compared to what's bigger. And that's part of what we're doing this week. This is part of a larger mission, a journey, seeing something way bigger. This comes up a lot. Release your blocks, unleash your kind of self. Know you are loved. And then it's like lighten up, focus on the positive. Those are some instructions directly to you. Let your fears dissolve. These are all about you as a person. This is your journey this week. Mindset shifts that you're making, reminders for yourself. And some potentially really going into the weekend, these feel a little bit more activity heavy, like the Friday of like, find those things that bring you joy, that get you to laugh, that get you to connect and be present, connect to water on Saturday. On 4 of the cards, there's a figure on it. So this one's doing yoga. This one is walking. This one is kind of like basking in the water and giving an offering. And then this one is like taking that big step, stretching, dancing, moving. That is Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, first quarter. So that's a reflection. So if new moon is step 1, first quarter is step 2. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're trying this new beginning, and then we have to see how is it going? How is it going? And it's not until we get towards that weekend where we hit anything that feels like it's on the other side. On the first of the month, we have the full moon, which is also an ending, but then that's bookended by 2 cardinal signs, which is a beginning energy. And what we're choosing to focus on is kindness and compassion. Whether you're the type of person, because I keep mentioning about the astrological new year being a beginning, but maybe you're someone who does not follow that, but you view the month, the calendar month, Gregorian calendar month as the beginning. Everything that's preceding it feeds into what's happening at that turn of the calendar. And then what goes into the next day and the day after and the day after. So this peak culmination point, if you will, this midpoint of the week, which is the Thursday, it's also a beginning energy. It's a new moon, it's Libra, it's a cardinal sign. What we keep getting is that it's so important that we are nice to ourselves. And then we're finding what's nice and we're letting go of what's not, so that we have confidence. So this is like the unexpected byproduct of just finding joy, finding connection, finding release. All of a sudden, it's like we have this backpack that's filled with really heavy rocks and we didn't realize we were wearing it. And then all of a sudden we can take it off and we're like, oh wow, I can move so much faster and I'm so much more nimble. That's the feeling that we get by the end of the week when we hit this Sunday.